Okay. Alrighty, guys. It's Friday Art Day. Yay! Sorry there was no Iron Man stream yesterday. We did actually make it to the zoo, so that was a miracle in and of itself. And we actually had a good day. Russell was able to eat. It was fantastic. So today we're doing arty things. It's been a little bit since I've done this, but this is going to be part of our tissue paper art project, the first one that we're going to work on. And I've done a couple other tissue paper art projects in the past, and I usually I have found that it's better to block my colors in before I start to put the tissue paper on, because it sort of gives me a guide to follow, and it's like, okay, this is what I wanted to do. So that way I'm not full on winging it as I go. So I kind of have an idea of how much of each color I'm going to need, where they're going to be placed, and if I need to make any adjustments as I go, I will. But it just gives me a little bit easier of a time if I have a predetermined color guide for what's going to go where. So I have our base color paints pulled out for the most part. It doesn't need to be the exact shades. I've just got shades close to what we're going to be using in the tissue paper, and I have a variety of colors of tissue paper that I kind of matched against what colors I had, so I think we'll be close enough. And then, so this week we're just going to put the paint in. Next week we'll actually start applying the tissue paper. So first we need to draw our design. Now this is the first time I'm going to be doing this particular project in tissue paper. We're going to be attempting to recreate a Bob Ross painting with tissue paper. Now we're going to be using one that I have done before that we actually did on the channel as a follow a Bob Ross tutorial. So we're going to be attempting to do this one. And I have a lot of purple tissue paper. I bought way more purple than I'm going to need. So, yeah, so I was like, oh, let's do something purple. Here we are. So we're going to do a purpley thing. And we'll work to get these colors blocked in a bit. And we'll see how it goes. So let's take this one off stream. We're just gonna set that guy to the side for now, so we can see, so I can see what I'm doing. So we're gonna have a rough horizon line. Oh good, everything's gonna fall now. Fantastic. I'm gonna have a rough horizon line. Holy shit. That was thunder. Excuse me one moment. The window is open behind me. Pretty big, so give me one second. Okay. I just don't want the open window behind me while it's, storming. That's reasonable. I think that's more than fair. That was pretty loud too. They were saying they were expecting it to arrive here around 2 o'clock. I am surprised because there was no storms right with us when I last checked the radar, right before I got started. There was some rain starting to move in, but the thunder is still a good distance away. Maybe this is something that popped up on the latest scan. I will be checking weather today, because it's a weather aware day. and they're talking about potentially severe stuff moving in later. So we're gonna have water down here. It's gonna kind of meander up into here. So how much sky do we really want? Now, question is that even remotely even? I have no idea. I should probably try to find my T-square. Which seems to have vanished. Really? The T-square vanished. It's here somewhere. Under the mountain of stuff. I really need to get some more hooks behind me so I can stuff up. We're gonna say this is probably pretty straight. It's straighter than it would be if I hand drew it, so as my hand slides off the edge. Good enough. I feel bad that I just kind of wasted that tape, but that's okay. It wasn't completely a waste, but alrighty, now. So there's kind of where our sky is going to be. Actually, the sky might need to be... Nah, screw it. Okay, so we're going to have some ground in here, and then we're going to start to have a little bit of a lake. So kind of. Okay. Alright, so we have probably how big do we want this guy to be? He doesn't need to be overly big. Alright, wow, that looks super dark there. Okay. Okay, so this is gonna be edge of that. See, I change my mind all of the time. Do I have my stick eraser? Oh, I have that eraser. That might work. So we're just gonna have like a gentle angle here. And then let's see if the other eraser is gonna cooperate. It may not. It's an older eraser. I have stick erasers. This one's got ink on it, so had a pen explode. Not a good time. So this is the basic idea. Like, we don't need to get too fussy with it at this stage. Where's my reference? Okay, so we've got Shouldn't be on an angle. See, sketching phase. It's kind of straight across though. So alright, so we don't have to get too fussy with this because I mean it is gonna get paint put over top of it. Just ripped my earbud out again. That's fantastic. This is not straight. That might be what's part of what's messing me up here. So we'll get this line out of there. We'll try to get that line out of there. So you kind of have our little housey guy. Actually, I think it's supposed to be a barn, but whatever. And it hasn't thundered since I got up, shut the window. Of course. Makes me wonder how far away. Not that I really want it to storm. Don't know how well we'll be able to get these windows in, but you know, we'll try. Okay, so there's our barn. Just barely make out our feels extra dark in here for some reason. Got pretty dark out outside. Okay, so you go back there. Alright. Now, there's a bunch of trees in here, but we do, we'll get them. We'll get to them. So we've got some different sky colors here. So like all around the edges. And actually, I'd probably... Ooh, that wind just came up. Probably even venture to say that this all in here is probably going to be so I'm just gonna come back in and kind of make this line a little bit darker just so we can see what's happening with it. Forgot I need to make it my hand a little bit heavier so that you guys can see it. If you try to do this, you don't need to go this heavy, as long as you can see it. I would actually prefer this be a little bit lighter so I don't have paint picking up the graphite. And then we've got sort of a lighter color coming in through some of these not going to be on all of them, but it is there on some of them. Now, granted, that's probably because it was colors being blended. We'll see what we can do. And then we have the other color that's going to fill in the background there. Clean that up. Now, sorry, the camera is sitting on my monitor. So now, I feel like the fence we can just paint in on top of. That color is going to transfer down to here. It's going to be mostly just straight though, so we don't have to worry about too much. We'll wing that section. Now, we do have some trees and stuff to put in, so our tree line kind of so it's gonna look a little confusing, but if I do this, then I don't have to worry about putting the background, the different colors in there. Got another loopy tree here. I think there's another evergreen back here. And then there's gonna be another evergreen back here. We've got some bushes in here. We've got some more bushes in here. And then it's kind of like some wild overgrown mess there. Alright, now here we've got a tree. Pretty thick tree, honestly, all things considered. How far up? Okay, so top of the trunk on this one seems to go to about here. Actually, no, trunk goes all the way up. Probably to about there. I'm probably going to take it all the way, just for simplicity, and we're going to have tree bridge there, probably one there. One there. going to end up being something else, but I'm going to bring that color into there. We might bring the sky color up under here, just in case there's any tears and the sky comes through. That'll be fine. So, now, over here, we've got another evergreen coming down into there. It's going to go over a little bit, and then we're going to have, that's too big. That's a little better. It's probably too much of a gap though, but have another tree in here, or at least some kind of shrubbery. Evergreen there. There looks to be another, maybe slightly taller evergreen back in here. And do that there, and do, it's going to be a little different from the one we did previously, but that's okay. We've got some shrubbery in here. Again, this is just very crude sketches, just to give me an idea of where we're going.
Turkey dead?
Yes. Then we've got some kind of sticky shrubbery here. Alright, and then we've got that, and then we have a little bit of well, no, I don't really want that close to the water. Maybe here. And, well, you know, I think we're going too detailed with that, because this is going to end up getting painted in over top, so we'll deal with that in a minute. Alright, I think that's basically, alright, and then there's some more, like, scratchy grass here around the base of our tree. And we'll just set that in there. Alright. Okay, so put that aside, we'll put pencil aside, and we'll put that eraser aside. I need to grab a different eraser. If I can locate it in my, there it is, in my bucket of stuff. Out impaling myself on something. I see you, but I don't see you. Where are you? you. How far down are you? I am totally unprepared. There you are. My brain was, oh no. Oh no, the flamingo took a tumble. Oh no! This flamingo, I'm gonna have to glue him together because he does not want to stay.
Told you.
Where did this piece even come from? I think this came off of his butt. And I think it might have just lightninged. I saved his directions though. He's cute. He's called a plus plus toy. Because the pieces, it's kind of like a Lego set, but not exactly. The pieces are plastic and they look like plus signs when you go to put them together. They're a little fragile though. And honestly, my brain had a hard time processing the directions for it, but that's really not that big of a surprise. Alright, so I'm just kinda coming through here, cleaning up the section that needs to get pulled out. Just so I don't get confused. When I come back in with my paint. Just to make things a little bit easier for me. Okay, that we said we were just gonna wing that, putting that back in. Alright, this gets taken out. So just this temporarily. Take out. We'll try to take out. See, this is why you want to go not quite so heavy-handed, but I did so you guys could see it on the camera. This comes out. And that comes out because you're not going to see it. This horizon line comes out. This comes out of the tree trunk. All of that is off of there. Okay. I think, oh, yay. Graphite all over my hands. Fantastic. Alright, you can go up there and you can go up there. Alright, now we need some brushes. Got some water already. Okay, so what color do we want to do first? I guess we should work dark. Shaking up our paint. So this is a color called eggplant. That's gonna be gloppy. Come on. Don't be gloppy. Okay. It's gloppy because I haven't used it in a while. It's pretty close to my dark purple that I'm planning on using. Well, okay, it's not that close, but I'm expecting it to dry. a little bit darker. It's hard to tell. It actually looked a little bit darker in the bottle. This is why you want to swatch the things. So again, this is not going to look pretty. And it's just going to be blocks of color. Because this is just going to be my color key, so to speak. So that way, I'm going to come in with the paper. If I miss a section or a tear happens and after the glue dries, you know, I don't realize it, I will definitely realize it when there's a bright white gap. Even if it's tiny, if it's white, it's going to be glaringly obvious. So I do this to soothe my brain. So my brain's not like, you didn't do it right. Apparently this was the brush I last gessoed with. You can tell by all the gesso all over the handle because my hands were a hot mess. Alright. Just gonna come in with my dark color here. Well, my darker color. Now, I know I've got the tree drawn in here, but I'm gonna take this all the way up to the tree trunk. Because, you know, for the bigger tree, since that's gonna be in front, if any breaks in the paper do happen, I'm okay with some of that showing through. Because, you know, sky shows through on trees, so that's fine. So I probably will paint over these trunk extensions. So I kind of know where they're going to be now in my brain. Sorry, I had to pause for a second. All the lines were kind of suddenly overloading me. I was like, oh, what was I doing? Okay, so this was dark all the way down into here. We will fix that tree branch in a minute. Pretty sure this side. This down here, but I'm pretty sure this section in here was going to be darker purple. And you know what? It's okay. We can change our minds at this point. It's totally fine. Now, will this section will probably get the purple tissue paper. Take this up into here. And this is gonna be just purple all the way down, this shade. All the way down the edge. Again, I'm not looking for awesomeness here. I'm just looking to fill in the color. And since this is probably just going to be some sticky things or a really dark shrub. Sorry, I keep tapping the microphone. Real professional. That tapping was me. I apologize. I thought I moved my hand out of the way twice and I didn't. Ah! These longer hand. This isn't even that long of a handle brush, but I'm using it way down on the ferro. Okay, so that's darkening up a little bit. Alright, so, this is purple in here. Going to be the dark purple in there. That might have supposed to have been a lighter purple, but that's okay. These two were really right up on top of each other. I'm okay with doing sort of a rolling cloud there. Alright, tree. Get some of the lighter purple in there. And this darker purple, I don't really think we're going to see a whole lot of it down in here. But, you know, we'll go ahead, we'll put it in. We'll see what happens as we get there. Now, get this section locked in. This is just the cheaper craft paints that I have. It's not the more expensive ones. We don't really need the more expensive ones for this. This will suffice. Because in the end, this color's not really gonna show. Not really. Like, it might manipulate the shade of the tissue paper slightly on top, but it's not gonna be a drastic change. And I got non-bleeding tissue paper. If you try to do this exact thing with the bleeding tissue paper, that might not work. The background might, but I don't know if bleeding tissue paper works on canvas either. You might have to do that on watercolor paper or on a watercolor canvas. do keep that in mind. And I don't know if you'd be able to do the whole thing with the bleeding. That might get really muddy. But what I've got is just standard craft tissue paper. None of the colors that I have inadvertently tested out while working on my other project seemed to bleed, so I was like, yay, thank you for not bleeding, because that would have been a hot disaster. Absolute catastrophe. Alright, and this one we're just gonna put in the bush back when we put that paint in. For now, I just wanna get that in there. We'll get his arms back in a minute. Okay, so that's like my first color. Like I said, it doesn't need to be perfect. It can be streaky, it can be a hot mess. You know, we just want to get the base color down. Because the goal is to have that covered with the other stuff. I really wish Twitch gave us an option for a mixed media tag. There doesn't seem to be one, because ultimately that's what this is going to end up being. Just getting the edge here, because this edge won't end up getting tissue paper on it, because then it might not frame correctly. But we can at least get this in. Hey, can you open the window again a little? I had shut it on that loud crack of thunder because it seemed like it was gonna really storm. And then it didn't seem to do anything. Alright, so just cleaning my brush. And realizing that I've buried my paint towel again. So, tissue it is. For drying our guy. There's probably still paint in there, but it's okay. The next shade's gonna be purple too, so not a huge deal. Oh yeah, there was still paint in there. Alright. That's a little better. Okay. So that shade's done. Sit you over there. We're going to pick up our lighter purple now. Oh right, we're not done with that. Well, we're done with that temporarily. Forgot we have to do the water. Derp-a-derp. My brain sometimes, it just goes off into La La Land. And just checks out entirely. Alright, so we're gonna work on getting our next color layered in here. Again, I'm not that worried about me overlapping the colors here, and the darker one kind of showing through. That is fine. Just trying to get sort of an idea of how I want to deal with this. Alright, we'll pick this up in here again. Hope everybody's having a good Friday. Weekend is about to kick off for some folks. Or maybe your weekend has already started. So what kind of plans does everybody have for this weekend? I am doing nothing outside of the house. I've got a lot of stuff to catch up on. We actually did make it to the zoo. That was so much fun. We had such a good day. And it was very much needed. And then, well, not and then, but by the time we got home, we were just completely and thoroughly exhausted. And I didn't end up doing a whole lot of anything by the time we got home because I was tired. So, oh, I just went through a tree. That's okay. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. Yeah, I didn't really do anything. I tried to get a bloodthirsty level because I'm so far behind, it's ridiculous. And I was just so tired. I was like, this is not a good idea because I'm not even paying attention anymore. That's a tree. That's a tree. It's gonna be pink. Alright. I do have one of the tags as paper craft because we will be using tissue paper. I don't think we're gonna have time to get to the tissue paper today. We'll see. We'll see. Tap this in this line. Yeah, we'll see what time it is when I'm done. I'm not expecting to have time to get to the actual tissue paper part, and I still have some tissue paper I need to cut, so I'm a little behind on life from these past couple of days. You take one day off and everything goes to shit. So I don't even have a bloodthirsty ready for Wednesday yet, and I'm like, oh, we might not be doing the full 5 this week. Alright, this is actually a little bit darker than I think I wanted, but that's okay. It'll be all right. It was funny because I was trying to find the picture for this, and there's another one that's similar, but it's more of a purple and yellow sky. And I kept looking at the picture, and I'm just like, this doesn't look right. Like, this doesn't look like the one I thought I wanted to do. I thought there was a lot more different shades of purple in it, so then I went hunting through my images of the stuff I've got on Etsy, and I was like, oh, right. It's supposed to be this one. This is the one I was thinking of. Because I was like, the yellow placement in this photo does not look like it's where I remember it being. Alright, so we'll get this tapped in. So, I can't remember if I told you guys about our friend that was doing a soldering project for one of his vocational courses, and for some reason he was doing it next to his computer, and he accidentally touched his snowball microphone with his soldering iron. And apparently the computer was plugged in and running. And when he touched it with the soldering iron, there was a huge spark, he said. And then his computer died. I don't know if the computer was on, but he was definitely soldering next to, at the very least, a plugged-in computer. I don't know every single detail. But yeah, microphone's dead. So computer was dead. He had to order, monitor was dead. He had to order a new monitor, new computer. You okay?
Yeah, just phlegm went down the wrong tube. Actually, I think his old monitor was fine.
Oh, was the monitor fine?
Getting as part of the package.
Oh, okay.
And probably an upgrade.
And when the new computer arrived, it wouldn't turn on. The same week that he had to have work done on his truck because the truck was suddenly leaking fluids. And I think he also cracked the screen in his phone. So he's not been having an easy time of it lately. It's just like, damn, dude. So I haven't decided how I'm actually going to structure the tissue paper yet. Sometimes I make it into little snakes. Sometimes I make it into little, like, rose swirls. Sometimes I make it into little tiny balls of paper. And sometimes I just kind of smush it on there with the glue. I'm thinking for the sky, we might just smoosh it on. There was supposed to be 2 trees there. Oops, my bad. That's okay, we'll fix that. Something flashed. Why did that flash? OBS, what are you doing? That was strange. Okay. We'll put this. We'll fix that tree in a minute. I got carried away with my pink paint. All right, that's a tree. That's supposed to be a tree, I think. That is definitely a tree. This is supposed to be a tree here. So this is pink in here. That's a tree. This is gonna be pink in here. That's a tree. See, I got confused. I couldn't even follow my own damn lines. The brain just gets confused. And my earbuds like to get caught on the edge of my desk. Damn it. Not amused, earbuds. Not amused. Okay. So now let's come back in over here. And we'll start to get that worked in. That's a tree, this is sky. Sky in here. The tree, and that's the sky, and that is tree in there. Okay, I think that's all of the sky that we have to put in. Now, let's try to figure out where we want our water to go. Like it when I have the larger sections, I can get a lot of this extra paint out of the brush. So we'll take that into there, and that's okay if some of the pencil lines are bleeding up through. It's fine, it doesn't matter at this point because it's gonna get covered. This is just our color guide that we are putting in. Alright, I'm not gonna bother cleaning this too hard here. So I'm thinking the water will make the little paper snakes. I think that'll have a good texture for that. I've done water like that before, so we'll do the paper snakes across. I think the tree is going to be snakes up and down. Sorry if the camera's bouncing, I am kind of tapping the canvas pretty vigorously. Alright, then we'll come into our dark color. Like, even when my paint gets glompy, I still try to soak up as much paint as I can off of the glompy parts because I don't want to waste it. but we might need to put down more of this color. I don't think we have quite enough. To get through the last bits on this shade. Doesn't feel like it, so let's get some more of that. And get some purpley stuff. Hopefully it doesn't explode everywhere. See, it does these like lumpy things as the paint's getting older. It's starting to, it wants to try to solidify. But it hasn't solidified yet. There's still some life in it. And I know it was cheaper paint, but I'm gonna get my money's worth out of it. Thank you very much. I don't care if they were under $1 a bottle, I'm using it. If it's still usable. So I'm just blocking in on the edge. There's probably going to be a couple spots where, you know, a little bit of the canvas is going to poke through because we're not being 100% fussy. And our brush strokes don't really super matter right now because, again, we're not going to see the brush strokes really. Once we get the paper down, it is going to lay all on top of this. It's just easier for my brain if I have a color guide in front of me, because then I don't feel like I'm getting too overwhelmed. And I'm not losing sight of the shape. That we're looking for. I almost painted the grass purple. Let's not do that. Not in this one. I'm sure purple grass is fine for some things, and I'm sure it probably exists, but I don't want purple grass right now. In this particular piece. Alright. That should be good enough for the purples and the pinks. So we basically have our sky and our water blocked in. As I make a ginormous mess. You know what, since we're using such a big brush today, let's just go with the bigger water cup. Let's just stop dicking around with the other one. Might as well, right? I think we might need to switch to just a slightly smaller brush now. Still Still a big. So we're gonna go from, what is this? That's not that much smaller. Do we have? What do we have? Alright, so we're gonna go from a 10 to a 9 and a 4. I think. Did this not get washed? Feels like there's something. Oh god, did I not? What was I doing? No, I think it's washed. Alright, there's just the tip is being weird. Okay. Whatever. Alright, so, now. Oh no. Alright, let's block in. Sorry, I'm looking at my color options. It's gonna be a little impressionistic on the trees and the bushes. Let's grab our dark green that's exploding everywhere out of the container. Okay, that's enough. That particular bottle's pretty much done. Alright, so let's start blocking in our evergreens. Tissue paper on these might end up actually being much darker. But actually, for this, I think I'm gonna take you straight down, and whatever we were gonna do on top of you, we'll put in on top of you. Just to make life a little bit simpler. Paint string. No. No, now it's, where'd it go? It was on the brush, and then I touched it to pull it off the brush. And I thought it was stuck to my finger. There I go, hitting the microphone again. Oh, there it is. I think it just came off. There, that's okay. I'm not gonna stress that. It's fine. This isn't the top coat anyway. Sorry, sometimes I know I'm repeating that, but sometimes I have to make myself feel better about something that's not quite right, or not quite a finished look to it. It's like, no, remember, this still has a ways to go. This is not the finished piece on this yet. Sorry, my hand felt, or my arm felt sticky when I pulled it up, and I was like, what? Yep, landed in the wet paint. Of course I did. Because that's how we roll here. You're not having fun if you're not getting messy, okay? That's how it is. You can't be afraid to get dirty. Because it's gonna happen with the paint. We're not using toxic paint. It's fine. We're okay. It'll wash off. But, you know, if you go into this expecting to not get a spot of paint on you, well, you're either much more diligent than I am, or a lot more careful, I guess. I don't know. Like, it's just, we're gonna get paint. It's gonna happen. I don't do gloves. The paint's gonna happen. Half the fun is washing it off your hands and your arms and your face if you flicked it up that way, or you touched the wet paint and forgot and touched your face. That has happened. I've gotten paint on my face and not even known it until after the stream, and Russell's like, what the hell's all over you? I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, you've got like blue smeared across the whole side of your face. I'm like, what? Like, no, I didn't. He goes, yeah, you kind of did. Alright, we might need more of that color, so for now, let's rinse that. And I'm going to do just a super quick weather check. See where we're at. Okay, so some of that's moving on. However, I think that's the first round of storms, because I saw a weather report forecast for our local. It's almost, what's the temperature right now? 75. It's probably gonna go back down to 40 by tonight. I think this is just round one, because I saw on the weather forecast it looked like they were predicting more storms coming in by like 9 or 10. So yay, this is a whole day thing. Of course it is. Alright, so we've got our evergreens blocked in. So I'm gonna set that color over there. That color's done. Okay, now, next color is going to be probably the burnt umber for the tree over here. Now, this color is probably going to look a little shiny, and I do apologize about that, but this particular paint that this shade is in is just a shiny paint. Not a whole lot I can do about that. So we will put this in. We know where our tree trunk is going to live. And I don't know if I want to put the branch offs on it just yet. Like, do I want to put the sky in first and then paper the branches in then? Maybe that's not a good idea, because then I won't have, it'll be, like, extra bumpy. It won't be sitting completely flat. The one bad thing about this particular brand of paint being shiny, this is Master's Touch. This is like artist paint, might be student paint, I don't know. It's more in the fine art section than the other paint I use. But it is a shinier finish. Than the craft paints. And I could have done this in the craft paint, but the browns are a little transparent. Not that that really matters in this case, but it's not as dark in that one. It takes a couple coats for the shade to build up to where I want it. So it's just like, I have this. I have a lot of this. Let's just use this. And just kind of, you know, not dig about with it. Just do it. Oh, okay, I was only supposed to start halfway around. That's okay. Right, so then this side is a bit more dirt. Factored into it, and then that section you're really not gonna see. Alright, so yeah, I guess we should at least mark out where I wanted the branches to go, just to save me some trouble later. But like I said, that edge isn't really gonna get seen all that much. Okay, so now the barn door is going to be a bit darker. Alright, and looks like the windows on the other side. Those are gonna be dark as well. Oh, good. Armful of paint. And the funny part is, I'm gonna turn and look at that later and be like, where the hell did that come from? Because I can't remember anything. Okay. Next color. We're moving on. Alright, so that's kind of got sticks in it though. Alright, we need some yellow. Got kind of like this. It's exploding everywhere. Because I shook it. And there was an air bubble in there. Alright, so where's this one go? So it actually sits in here. Above this part of the building. And this one's more of a yellow green. Don't have my whole bag of green paint over here, but I've got something that we can probably mix in just so that I remember that this is supposed to be a double color. This is another one of those. Kind of like, I don't really think it's a fall tree, kind of like a spring time tree where there's still a little bit yellow, there's still a little bit green coming in, like the buds on the trees still look kind of yellow. Get that worked in. Alright, that's more of just a green shade, and we'll make that one just that green shade. And this shade's not really part of the grass, so now it's not really. See, I didn't readjust my green colors to reflect the fact that I had been looking at the wrong photo when I picked all of my greens out. So it's like, oh, okay. Alright, so that's alright. We'll just mix some of whatever the hell this color was I grabbed. The fuck was it? Basil? I don't remember. Some basil and some yellow. It doesn't really hugely matter. This is gonna get double shaded. The trees will probably end up being like rosy swirls. Tap that in. Bring that down to there. Okay. Now, I'm just trying to get some of that out of my brush. We'll grab some of this shade. And we'll tap this tree in. Alright, and then we've got another one of these guys over here. Tap this lovely tree in right here. Okay. Alright, so the background trees are doing their thing. Alright, so now the grass, we're just gonna kinda probably use this shade just to base coat this guy in. Don't know how I'm gonna do the grass yet. I could just get smushed on there as well, just to kind of not take away from the lines on the water. We'll see. I think I'm gonna need some more of this green just to kind of finish this section off. What color was this? Oh, it was foliage green, not basil. Alright. Yeah. Come on. Paint everywhere. That's why I kind of advocate to not wear good clothes. The shirt I have on is one of my middle ground shirts. It's not the greatest shirt. It's a little small, I think. But, I can still kind of wear it out in public, but it's also one of those ones where I'm okay if paint gets on it. I have a couple really shitty shirts that used to be some of Russell's undershirts that he didn't want anymore or couldn't wear them anymore, so I took them. I'm like, well, if you're not gonna wear them, I will wear them to paint in, and then I can get paint on them till the cows come home, and it doesn't matter. So I've got a couple dingy, stained. Probably could use all the good bleaching. But I don't normally use bleach on my clothes because then bleaching accidents happen. So it's like, it's okay. I only wear these to paint. They only get paint on them. I don't go out of the house in them because they're white, and white shirts for me aren't exactly transparent, or they're not opaque, they're transparent, and I just don't feel comfortable wearing white shirts, solid, thin white shirts out. No thanks. Not like that. Not that style of shirt. I'm gonna take this up to here. I think I might stick another evergreen. I'm just gonna take this all the way up here. I think I'll probably stick another evergreen guy back there. Just getting the edge, and realized I'm tapping my drink with my straw, or my paintbrush. Sorry. Everything's in the way today. Damn it, drink, go over here. Everything's in the way today. I'm in my own way. Had to explain to my dad that I don't think you can walk into Walmart's optical lab and expect them to fix your glasses that you got in New Jersey with where they're broken. I was like, you really need to bring your prescription in case they have to order you new frames. Well, they should be able to figure that out. I'm like, Walmart will make you pay for another eye exam if you don't bring it, and then you're going to be pissy about that because you already have the prescription written down that you got like 2 weeks ago, so. That's okay. He's gonna go to the doctor that wrote the prescription to begin with after all of that. Whatever. He's just being cranky today. I think he's mad that my mom went shopping without him. Although I don't know what she bought. It's probably gonna be some frilly flowery thing. She said she wanted to get a new shower curtain for the bathroom, and I'm like, oh god. Right. Okay. So we have olive green, do we want olive green on the bushes? Like, I feel... Oof. Alright, I feel like this should be... not the color that I'm looking for. Alright, 1 second. Too much walking yesterday. Way too much walking. Well, more walking than I'm used to. Let's put it that way. So now, every time I go to get up, body's like, oh god, we're doing this? Like, are you sure? Have you thought this through? Leaf green, spring green. Let's look at these two colors. I think I've got comparable colors here. Alright. Ugh. What a mess. Come on. This is probably gonna explode everywhere. Shut it. Actually, it didn't. That's astonishing. Okay, so let's get... What the hell was this? Leaf? Yeah. Leaf looked darker than spring, so... these are gonna get tapped in here. And honestly, when I actually go to do this, it might be a mixture of the darkest green I have and then this shade of green, and then the lighter shade of green kind of like alternated in and smushed. And just kind of like layered in. Just to hopefully give some shadow impressions, and we'll see if we can pull that off. Let's get some more of this color. So we'll let those two colors just kind of think about it. At least I know that's a different bush because it's got a different color, different texture. Alright, so this one's kind of the same deal. So I'm trying not to shake the camera too much. But even just the color blocking in so far is kind of... I dipped into the wrong color. I wasn't ready for that color yet. It's still kind of giving us some ideas on where things are going to go and how we want to handle it. I mean, we could potentially put some flowers on these bushes back here as well, maybe. We'll see. We'll definitely see how that goes. I know the top edge I want to be our lighter colors, just so that we have some sort of definition, and it'll be probably a little bit easier to sort that out as we get further in with the project and we actually start putting the paper down. Or this could just be, you know, a simple hedgerow. That's fine too. Still have to put our base color in for our barn here. So that's not a bad hedgerow. Kind of get the idea there. Alright. So now over here, let's put in our other evergreen before I forget. Alright, now the bushes, actually the bushes are all sort of like this one. Like there's a couple spots where things look a little bit spiky, but I think like that's something that we can decide to put in with different texture as we go. If I decide to leave that in, I could just change it for simplicity's sake, because I'm kind of liking this whole hedgerow thing we got going on back here. That in there, and all right. So now let's grab some more of this. What the hell did I say this was? Foliage? Leaf? No, it's leaf. Leaf green. Just to kind of brighten up that top edge a little bit. Like I said, you know, we're not going to have placement be 100% on the shade. Again, it's just so it's a cue in my brain kicking off of, oh, hey, this needs to be X, Y, and Z color. Don't forget. Okay. Alrighty, so now I'm gonna clean my brush after that one. Just because those two colors were mixing pretty good, and I kind of want an actual different color for this. I mean, I guess we could do like snakes for the grass as well. Hello, paint. Oh, I think the bottle's clogged. Hold on. If I can get it out of here. Come on. Please don't squirt everywhere. Because that could be a problem. Just a little bit of a problem for me. Alright. I have one of the wooden kitchen skewers that I put in my one paint container. Wow, that's some really super glumpy paint. Like, there was liquid to it, which is why I kept going, but that paint's not. That bottle's gonna be not around for much longer, probably. Alright, so I'll just tap this in, because there's some sections that are really kind of bright green in there. So I'll try to keep the brighter greens to the top. And we do our strawberry. Would I bother you for a shrubbery? Alright. So again, it really doesn't need to be all that dark in there. Just so I know my placements. That way not everything is becoming too silly. So I see all my different shades in here. Alright, and then we'll come back over with that same lighter shade. I don't even remember what color is it. Spring green, I think. Alright, so we have our shrub line set up. Oh, right, we still need to do the thing down there. Okay. This work down so I have an idea of what I'm doing with these colors. Okay, now there was some little sticky guys down here. Okay, that kind of all we're doing with this color. It might be, I'm not going to put the tree foliage in because I want that to sit on top of the sky, so I will deal with that when it comes time to actually put the tissue paper in, because that's going to be a hot mess if I try to do that now. So we know we need to come back and do that. That's fine. That's not a huge problem to leave that out at this stage. We're good. At least my brain's good. I know what I'm doing for that. Alright, so I didn't actually end up needing that color. I got that color. Okay, now for the barn itself, it's kind of like a washed out gray building with some rusty things on it. Let's do this color. I need another palette. What the hell? I've got another mini one in the drawer. That's fine. Okay. You go there. Space is at a premium. Okay, come on, get out of the thing and in. Thank you. Don't be difficult, just do the thing. Alright. So then we're gonna start to, probably should have done this with the smaller brush. Probably make more sense to do this with the smaller brush. Don't really need the big guy for this. Nose is itching. It was funny, my allergies didn't really bother me the whole time we were in Oklahoma yesterday. But as soon as we came back, I could feel them kicking off. I was like, what in the Sam Hill is this nonsense? Alright, so this is probably going to be paper snakes up and down, just to get the building shades right. this is kind of like, we're gonna do this in a slightly different, well, I don't know. Do I really want to do this in a slightly different color? Because like that side should probably be a little bit darker than the front. So I don't know. Let me think about this for a second. Because it's supposed to be kind of a pretty weathered building. So maybe more of a light gray, maybe, with like some brown, or maybe some rust colored reddish brown spots every so often. And on this side, this probably be similar in shade, or maybe a slightly darker shade, and need to get our roof color in. No, don't make a mess. Like, I'm okay if I get messy, I just don't want it making a bigger mess everywhere else. Like, the paint string did not want to leave that bottle. That's for sure. So we've got this color coming in for our roof. Probably need to put that on the back side. Okay, so then on this, just every so often, maybe like a rust line or something, or it could even be a darker brown and not this reddish color. Yeah, okay, I think that'll do. Oh, right, our fence. Well, the fence is something that can wait till the very last, because it's gonna sit on top of things, so I'm okay with that going in very, very last. All right, you guys, we've got our colors blocked in. Oh, so I think that's what we're gonna work with to start out, and just for reference, this is what we're kind of shooting for. I didn't put the lighter colors on the tree bark yet. That's something that I can do with the tissue paper and just looking at the reference photo. So, excuse me. Sorry. So that's not anything real major to have to worry about. So we'll see what this ends up looking like once we start to get the tissue paper put in, and we'll start doing tissue paper next week, so we know. So you guys have a great night. Wild Challenges podcast is tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern on their channel on Twitch. Sorry, my throat really itches now. And hopefully we'll have at least one Bloodthirsty to work on Wednesday. I don't know if we'll have all 5. That really depends on time. And if the weather's cooperative enough for me to be working on them, because it is spring in the south. But we'll at least try to have a couple. So we'll see what happens for Wednesday. But thank you guys for popping in and keeping me company every so often. I do appreciate it. You all have a great night, and I will see you on Wednesday. Have a good one.